Hi, this is Professor Steve Ruth, SPGIA, and I'm trying to answer as well as I can the question you may have on your mind: should I take this PUBP 710, the Internet and Public Policy course, Technology or Tyranny? It emphasizes the good and the bad side of technology, particularly Internet-based technology, which is practically all technology is connected to the Internet these days. I'm going to give you some things to worry about and also some things to look forward to and let you decide. Here goes. Things to be concerned about. This course involves a lot of writing and the deadlines are very, very strict. You'll notice when you start getting notes from me about 2 weeks before the course starts that there are things due the very first week, quite a lot due the very first week, a lot of reading due before our face-to-face meeting on the 24th of January, just a bunch of those things. And there's a lot of writing, and the deadlines are tough. All comments and most submitted work are out there for everybody to see, including the one major course deliverable, the ICT portfolio, which you have to work on every single week. And I give you plenty of samples of what it might look like. That's out there. So if you're not used to having everybody see what you write and everybody see what you produce, then this course is something you should probably consider extra carefully. Considerably longer assignments. I mentioned that even though you might say, well, we don't have to come to class very much, the assignments are quite long. And another thing, all the reading materials are online. There's no book this time. There's just a lot of reading materials. So most of it you're just going to have to pull offline, pull down and read that way. And for many people, that's very, they just don't ergonomically, they don't like that too much. So be aware of it. Again, I reiterate that the ICT portfolio, which is due week 8, is a really major task. It'll take a lot of hours to do well, to do in a passable way, and I give you samples of what a couple of good ones look like. So do check out the samples before you subscribe to this course, because I think there'll be some things for you to consider positively and negatively. The good news about the course is that it saves travel time. It's online, so it's the same material. It's just a different approach. I've taught it lots of ways. I personally do a lot of, this is part of my research, so I do a lot of online courses in the school. And as I said in the introductory material for the course, it's not just for geeks. I'll have some special sections for geeks if we have some in the class so that they can find some things that they are particularly interested in, but it's for the general audience. And we'll be looking at policy areas in school and public policy of various different types. We'll be having equal doses of good news and bad news, and most of that research is going to be done by you. I'm going to point out each week some areas to cover, to read about, but your job is to research it and come up with some very intriguing, interesting comments each week, lots of them, and very well substantiated comments. There should be plenty of URLs in your comments. And there is heavy emphasis on student participation. 35% of the course grade is based on how you do on the website. So if you do the minimum, you might get a B or something on that part of the grade, but it's worth 35% of the course. And if you do the maximum, which is what I hope for, then you'll do fine. My role is these things I've mentioned up here: manager, collaborator. I do give you a lecture each week, just for very short. It's a YouTube lecture, which is right up there on the course website, which suggests some of the things to keep an eye on for the course. I'm an evaluator, and I'm also an integrator. I'll try to get you linked up with things that are helpful with each other and also with some of the other written material. Your role, well, these are the things I think you know about already, but you really have to be an active, informed, frequent participant in the class discussion forum. And there's weekly research. Every week you'll be coming up with a lot of material, plus the first half of the course there's 6 portfolio segments, and they require, all 6 of them require extensive research, and you'll be coming back and telling us about it in your weekly posts. The second half of the course there's a research paper and also a take-home final exam. And you'll need to become very familiar with how to get good citations, recent citations, and also relevant ones. And finally, you'll need to be a really big user of the website, library.gmu.edu, which is available to everybody who's in the course, and it's a wonderful resource that we use extensively in this sort of course. These are examples of some of the sample tech topics. You have almost 100 to pick from. You have 3 of your portfolio selections are from this list. And general topics, there are 2 of those that you pick for the portfolio. These are just general ones, and you have to read about them to find out more about them. And I provide a very, very detailed website available just to this class to make that easier. And of course, the course site on Blackboard is where we live. It supplants anything that's in the syllabus after the first week of the syllabus. The discussion board is the absolute hub of our activity. That's where we interact with each other. That's where I contact you. And you post these assignments on that site when you finally finish your ICT portfolio in the 8th week. Then that gets posted up there for everybody to look at. So it enables extensive participation. So in summary, I want to remind everybody that this workload is the same as for any normal course. But please be aware of the downside, some of those worrisome things that I mentioned about the extra amount of writing and the intense deadlines that there are. If you're not used to deadlines in a course like this, then this is not the one for you. Extensive participation, I mentioned that, but you can specialize. That's a nice thing about it. And the course site is user-friendly. It's designed for you, but you have to be on it just about every day in order to succeed in this course. And I conclude by saying, but it's a lot of work. So I think that's my suggestion, that you look it over very carefully, be very circumspect about it, be open to the idea that maybe this isn't quite the kind of course you want because of the intensive day-to-day work, even though there's a lot of time saved in the use of this format. So I wish you the best. I'd be glad to see you in the course, but I'd rather see you after you have considered these concerns that I brought up and then decide to do it. Thanks again.